Sampling and test of significance. In academic research, especially in the case of social sciences, the researcher is not able to cover the entire population or the entire universe. Under such circumstances, they are resorting to sampling. Sampling is an accepted method in research. Instead of covering a huge amount of population, that is the informant in the population or the universe, the statistician is selecting the research scholar who is resorting to the statistical method is selecting sample. When he is selecting sample, that is, he is adopting a method that's called the probability sampling is considered to be a scientific method. For this probability sampling, first we assume that the population is normally distributed. When the population is normally distributed, we can adopt any method in sampling procedure. We are having the simple random sampling, stratified random sampling. Various type of sampling methods are available. Depending upon the nature of the study, the research scholar should select this probability sampling. When he is making an assumption that the population is normally distributed, under this normally distributed population, he is taking a segment or few segment. If it is a stratified random sampling, he is selecting number of sample from various group, and from that he is trying to get the population statistic. When the researcher is resorting to sampling, test of significance is essential. When we are doing this research, especially taking into consideration the sampling procedure, the statistician should be very careful. Otherwise, the sample may lead to some biased result, or the research scholar can commit some error, or he can commit some mistakes. To avoid all these things, whenever we are doing research based on the sample data, the research scholar should be very careful, and he has to adopt the method of sampling and test of significance. The test of significance is a usual thing, and especially in the case of the social science research, the statistician or the person who is doing research, with the help of this data collected, he is analyzing and he is trying to get the actual result, and he tries to compare with the population, or he wants to generalize for the population. Under such circumstances, the test of significance is considered to be a very vital one in the case of social science research. Not only in the case of social science research, in any research, now when the sampling procedure is adopted, test of significance is also considered to be a very important one. For this, number of test criteria are also available. Statistician, those who are resorting to large sample, can adopt some method, and statistician, those who are adopting to the small samples, that is, small sample means the size of the sample may be less than 30. When he is selecting sample less than 30, he has to be adopt some method suitable for the testing procedure. This is the way in which the sampling and test of significance has become part and parcel of research, especially in the field of social and behavioral sciences. When he is doing these things, there are different steps in doing this method, but in most of the academic research, the research scholar, they are giving the objective of his research. In addition to these objectives, they are framing the hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but the tentative statement or working idea. When he is having this hypothesis, the hypothesis should be tested. But most of the research findings, when we see that the scholar has failed in testing the hypothesis, for this thing, a simple procedure that is known as, whenever the research scholar is doing this thing, that is known as the sampling, how to test is given in this small lecture. By using this thing, the research scholar can do the test of significance for testing the hypothesis. When he is testing the hypothesis with the help of some statistical tools, the research is considered to be uh, scientific, and his findings are considered to be more scientific, and from this he can or he may generalize for the entire population. That's why the topic that is known as sampling and test of significance is given. But here, the sampling procedure or what type of sampling should be taken into consideration, all these things are not given. This is as per the the qualities of the universe, and as per the time and the budget constraint of the scholar, he can adopt the sampling, which type of sampling he can take. This is the way in which he has to select the sample. Once he has selected the sample and he has come, that is with the help of the statistical data, when he is proceeding his research, when he is making decision, this thing that's known as the test of significance can be used, and this is the way in which the research will be more appropriate and more scientific, and this will serve the purpose of academic research.